Hey, welcome back everybody. Today we're going to do a quick video on how we make our farmer's cheese out of our raw milk. We're fortunate enough living here in Washington that we are able to get our hands on raw milk from stores or from a local dairy. Actually, we have a drop area or drop zone at our house where a local dairy brings and drops it off for people to pick up. They also deliver to the local stores here, so you can actually buy them in stores. I know not every state allows that, but there is ability to get the local raw milk. That's the best way to make the cheese out of it. So the milk that we get is from Dungeness Valley Cream, and it's raw Jersey milk. And if it's possibly hard to see, but I had it sitting in the refrigerator for a few days and for over 48 hours, and where my finger is, all of this top portion is cream. So the first part is separating it from cream, and I got this trick from the actual dairy themselves. That's how they separate cream. They basically take a gallon, open the top eventually, and then take any kind of sharp object and basically make a couple holes in the bottom. So I have it sitting on this, let me move it, on a couple sticks here, that so it drains out. So when I make the holes on the bottom here, let's see, it's almost like milking a cow, high tech. Alright, so you can see the milk just coming out of it, and basically what will happen is the milk will drain from the bottom and the cream will remain. So you just have to be, available. You want to open it, it'll drain out faster. Obviously, as the milk gets closer to the cream, the cream is thicker, so it's gonna slow down, but you want to catch it before it starts actually dripping out and have as little cream as possible in the milk that you're gonna sour and make cheese out of. Okay, so after a couple hours, this is what we got as a result of separating cream from milk. We got the milk here, I got cream right here from that gallon, and then these are the couple squares of our sour milk that we kept from our last batch to help the start. If you don't have this, you can add some sour cream or buttermilk to start, or even if you don't add anything, it'll ferment by itself, but it will take a little bit longer to do it without anything, any starter in it. So this is definitely a help, but not a necessity as like a really main necessity. You can do it without it. Alrighty, so now we slowly add this mixture into our pan here. It should fit in here. It'll be pretty full. Yep, that's the usual case with it. And then we will add the starter in here and just mix it around a little bit. Okay, and this is it for this part. Now all we do is wait, and then we will cut it and put it in the oven to bake. Okay, so about 36 hours later, this is what you get. You get either, you can call it soured milk or however you want to call it. I don't know what you actually call it.
Hi.
Hi, Toby. And basically it's just solid milk. So at this point what we do is we will take part of it and save some for next time. Okay, so I had to move to a different counter. What are we doing here? We're cutting it into squares. Basically 1-inch squares. So after you cut it into 1-inch squares, I will take 2 squares from here, and just look at this. It's awesome looking, just like that, and save it for next time, and we'll use this as a starter for our next batch. You can put it into the refrigerator and it'll just stand there. And this milk, actually, sour milk as we call it, is really good. Tastes like yogurt. It's like super good with like fried potatoes. So actually I decided to save a little bit more just because we might have 2 batches next time, kind of adjusting on the fly, so it'll be more like 3 or 4 squares. So it doesn't really matter. You can do, the more you put in, the faster it will start next time. So basically we filled up this whole jar, and the rest if we don't eat it, we'll bake it. So now we put it in the oven at 350 degrees for about 30 minutes, and then you let it cool inside the oven. So after 30 minutes in the oven, turn the oven off and let it cool completely, and this is what it looks like. Basically perfect little squares with whey separated. And from now, what we'll do is we're gonna scoop everything up, put it in a cheesecloth, and let it drain out. Just make sure to get all the whey out of it. Okay, so we scoop everything up into the cheesecloth and let the whey drain down. And you can actually use the whey if you really want to. We have made dough with it instead of water, but everything reacts differently with it, so you have to be careful how you use it, or you can give it to your chickens. That's probably the most what we do with it, is we soak everything, like soak some bread in it and give it to our birds. Okay, so now that I got everything in here, basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna squeeze all the way out of it, or at least as much as possible, and then let it hang, preferably overnight, or at least 2-3 hours, for the weight of the cheese to kind of pull the whey out of it. All right, so this is the cheese that we got after letting the whey come out of it. This is what it looks like. Tastes pretty good too. Now we're gonna weigh it. Hopefully not make a mess. All right, let's see what we got. We got 765 grams, 764, which is just over 1.5 pounds, 1.6 ounces of cheese that is perfect to use in your recipes. Or you can just mix it with honey and some jam, and it's good to eat. And the best way to utilize this cheese is to make these cheese blends. Basically, it's the cheese that we made with sugar, home eggs, a little bit of cream cheese, and just spread it nice and thick. Stack them, freeze them for later, and you can also reheat them in the oven, bake them in the oven, and it's a really yummy dessert.